So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can create a login page which checks the username and password from the database. So it validates username and password from the database, and if that username and password is correct, then it will give you some message if it's correct or not. So let's get started. So from this video, I am going to create connection to the database with this Java application. So I'm going to use SQLite database for connection to this GUI which we are making in Java, and we are going to make a little login page uh, in connection with this database. But first of all, I want to show you how you can create your database in SQLite. SQLite is a serverless database. That means you can transfer this database from one computer to another without worrying for the connection to the server. So it's not server based database, it's a kind of local database which exists on one computer only. Okay, so let me show you how you can first of all create a database. I will show you the simple method. There can be other method for creating SQLite database, but what I find simple, I'm going to show you. So the easiest thing is to use Firefox as a SQLite manager. So if you don't have Firefox, just download this Firefox from internet. It's free, as you all know. And in here in the Firefox, I have the newest version of Firefox, which is Firefox, I think 31. So open your Firefox and click this small button here, and in here you will find this different section. What we are interested in is add-ons. So click this add-ons here and search for the add-on called SQLite and press enter, and you will find this SQLite Manager 0.8.1. It's free, so just click install and it will be installed in your Firefox browser as a plugin. Just restart your Firefox. So I will once again restart my Firefox, and now how to search for that SQLite Manager in Firefox. So in the older version, it was really easier to find this SQLite Manager by going to the top menu, but in this new Firefox you need to go to customize. So just click this customize here, and in here you will be able to find your SQLite Manager, right? So just drag and drop this SQLite Manager in this menu in here. Okay, and you will be good to go, and just exit customization, and now you will be able to see SQLite Manager here. Just open this SQLite Manager and we are ready to create our SQLite database. It's really simple to make SQLite database in this SQLite Manager. To create a new database, you can go here and say new database and give the name of the database. For example, I want to create a database for employees, so I will say employee, what we can say, employee data database. Okay, and this will create an extension .SQLite. It will automatically give an extension to your database as .SQLite, but it's not necessary that all SQLite database has the same extension. They can have .db extension also or other extension also, but SQLite Manager in Firefox create the extension .SQLite, so don't worry about it, and click OK. And now it will ask for the location where you want to save your database. Okay, so save a location which you can locate later, right? So for example, let's say, where can I save my database? I will go to user and I will go to the same workspace which I'm using for this Eclipse. Okay, you can save it anywhere. It's not, I mean, it's not necessary that you need to save it in the specified folder. You can choose any folder of your choice and just select that folder, and then this SQLite database will be created there. Okay, now in order to add tables, you need to right click. Right now, whenever you create this database, it has 0 tables, so you need to add tables. So just right click this tables here and click create table, and in here you can create a table. So for example, I name my table as employee info table, and here I can make the column names. So the basics you can find on my playlist of my channel, but I will quickly create these columns. First column will be EID, second column will be name, third column will be surname, fourth will be username, fifth will be password, and for example sixth will be age. For now I need these columns. Maybe I will add more columns, but for now it's okay. EID will be integer data type, and name will be text, and surname will be text, username will be text, and password will be text, and my age will be integer. Okay, so I have quickly created this database, and for example I say EID is my primary key. I will click OK and click yes. So now I have one table created in the SQLite Manager, and in this table I can add some data. Okay, so how to add data? You can just make it bigger and just go to the table and go to browse and search here, and to add some data you can just go to add, and for example employee ID 1, name is Mark, some surname, username for example 1, you can give any username, password also 1 for example, and age is 35 for example. Okay, so I have added one data. I will once again add the second data. This is John, some surname, and username 2, password 2, age 25. So I have two rows of data I have created, and this is your database. And so once you create your database, and wherever you have given the location for saving this database, you will find this database there. So I will look for this database once again where I have saved. I have saved it in workspace. You can see employee.SQLite database here, right? So this is the database I have created, and it has some data. Okay, now I can close this Firefox browser, and I will create a new project. This I have been showing you in the last two videos, but I will create a new project for this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I will close this for now. I will go to File, New Project, and I will name this project as Company Project. Okay, and everything will remain same. I will click Next, and I will click Finish. So it has created me a project called Company. It has subfolder called Source and some libraries. Okay, in this I'm going to add a class. So just go to the source folder, right click it, and go to new, and I'm going to add a class. and this class I will call as SQLite connection class. So this class will help us to connect to the database, and make sure this is not checked. Public static void main is not checked, it's unchecked. Okay, so this method this class will not contain the main method. Okay, this is our helper class, and just click finish. Now you have this SQLite connection class. It doesn't have anything other than the class name. So what we are going to do is, in here we want to import some of the imports to connect to the database. First import is import java.sql dot star or asterisk. Whenever you use this asterisk, this means that this will be SQL, right? So whenever you use this asterisk after dot, it means whatever class this SQL namespace or whatever have, it will add all the classes related to SQL. Okay, and the second import is import java x dot swing. Okay, so we have created two imports. Now I will create a method which will be a public method, public static, and this method will return the connection. So I will say connection, and the name of the method will be for example db connector. Okay, and this will take no argument, and this will take, we will start the method and end the method like this. So let's create a global variable. Maybe we will use this in future. So just write connection con is equal to null, and do it like this. And so this connection is a part of your java.sql class. You see, when you hover over this, this is a part of your java.sql.connection class, right? That's why I have used this. And this method will return the connection. And first of all, in the last video, I've shown you how to create a try catch block. So just make a quick try catch block, try catch, and it will take exceptions. So just write exception E, and if any exception occurs, I will show it in option pane dot show dialog or show message dialog, right? Dot show message dialog. Okay, and now I will just pass null here as a first argument, and the second argument I will pass as the exception message. So I will pass this E itself here. Okay, so in this try block, what we need to do is, first of all, we need to define the class for connection to the SQLite. So we will write class dot for name, and this will be in the double quotes, this will be org dot SQLite dot JDBC in capital. Okay, and don't forget to give this semicolon here. So this will be like this: org.sqlite.jdbc, and this is showing error right now because we are not returning anything, but once we return the connection it will not show this error. So first of all, let's create the connection. So connection con is equal to write driver manager dot get connection, and this will be the connection. So in this double quotes as an argument you will write jdbc, and then colon SQLite, because we are using SQLite, SQLite colon, and now you will give the path of your database where your database is present. So my database is present at this path, so I will copy this path, or what I can do, I will right click on my database, go to the property security, and I will copy all the path from here. Okay, copy all the path and I will paste it here. Okay, and it will show error because I will show you why it will show error, but first of all I need to add the name of this database also. So this database name is employee data.sqlite. So / employee, what is it doing? Okay, so it should have this database name, employee data.sqlite. I will write employee data.sqlite. Okay, so first of all it's showing this error when you write this, because you need to add, whenever you make your path, or whenever you give your path in Windows, you need to give double slashes everywhere here instead of single slash as a path. Okay, and just end this like this. Now it will not give any error. Okay, and once you have your connection you will return your connection. Just write return con, and as soon as you return something here you will be able to see that this error will go. So in here also we will return null, return null, and now the error will go. Okay, so this is the connection class which we will use to connect to the database. Okay, now once we have this connection class, we are ready to make the login form, right? So what I'm going to do is I will go to my project once again, go to the subfolder called source, right click it, go to new and go to other, and in here I will choose window builder, and in SQLite designer I will choose application window. Click next, and now I want to give the path or the name of the new class I'm going to make. So this will be my login class, so I will name it as login. Okay, and I will finish, and now you will be able to see this class which is created for us, right? So we go to the designer, and for this video we will not do much, but we will just check the connection with the database. Okay, so we will leave this as blank, but we will go to the source, and we will go to the source at the top of this in login.java class, and in here I will find the constructor for this login class, which is public login, and it already has this method which is generated by Eclipse, which is initialize method. And just below this initialize method, what I'm going to do is I want to call that class connection, Java connection class here, to check my connection. So what I'm going to do is I will just go at the top, or you can do it here also, but it's better to do just after this declaration of the frame. But yeah, you can do it just above this constructor, which how you can find the constructor, it has the same name as your class. Okay, so just find the same name as class, and initialize method, it has initialize method, and just above that I will call this class. Okay, so what I'm going to do is here also, first of all, I need to add those import which I have used in SQLite connection class. So I will just copy these two imports, which is import java.sql and import javax.swing, right? And I will paste these two connections here. Okay, and now in above your constructor you can write the connection con is equal to null, and then we will make a result set, or we will make it later. And this connection con we are going to use globally, so just use this con variable, or I will make it as a more clear connection, so you know that this is a connection to the database. Okay, just call this connection, so just copy this object from here and just write is equal to, and just copy the name of the class, which is SQLite connection class, right? The name of the class dot our method, which is db connector method. Okay, so this db connector is this method. If you can see here, this db connector is this connection, and we can show some message here before returning, so that we know that our connection is successful. So just below this connection in SQLite connection.database, just above return connection, you can show this message that our connection is successful. So I can write connection successful. Okay, so what I have done in the login class, I have just called this connection class from java.sqlite class, and I have in the constructor of this login class, I have just called this connection is equal to the class, which is SQLite connection dot the method in which I have connected to the database. Let's try to run the program if it works or not. I will right click, and let's see if we can make this project as our main project, or we can, when we run it, we will be able to choose this. So we have this here, login and connection, click OK, and it's saying the message java.long class not found exception org.sqlite.jdbc. Let's see what is the error. Okay, so I will just close this file and I will find the error and then come back. So I found out the error. The error is I haven't added this SQLite ODBC or JDBC jar file to my project. To use this SQLite database to connect to our project with Java, we need to add some jar to our project so that we can connect SQLite to the Java. So to download this SQLite JDBC jar file, I will put this link in the description, which is https://bitbucket.org/x ereal slash SQLite JDBC. Okay, so I will put this link in the description. Then you will be able to download this file. And in here you need to go to download, and in here you need to download repository. So just click this button, download repository, and it will download a folder like this. So I will open this folder, and in this folder you will have some jars. So I will go to lib, and in here I will search for these jar SQLite, and yeah, include Windows. I will search for these jars now. So I think I downloaded the wrong repository. So this is the repository, but I don't find any jar file there. So I will one by one download all the jar files. So first of all this one, and I will keep it. Second one and the third one, I will keep it all. Keep. And fourth one, keep it. Fifth one, and it will be downloaded. And sixth one, and the seventh one. So I will download all these jar files, and once I have these downloads, I'll go to the folder where I have downloaded them, show in the folder. So these are all the downloads for the jar file I have here. Now in order to add these jar file in your project, what you need to do is go to your Eclipse project in here. So go to your project here, and you will have this JRE system library automatically created by Eclipse for you in your project. So search for this JRE system library, right click it, and go to build path, and in build path go to configure build path. Okay, so once again go to this JRE system library, right click, build path, configure build path, and in here you can add these jar files in your libraries. So to add those SQLite jar file, just go click this add jar button, and then you can browse for your jar files. I think in here there is no jar file. So what I need to do is, first of all, I will make a new folder. So what I have done, I've in source or in company itself, in the project, I will right click in my project and I will create new folder, and in here I will create a folder name, for example resources. Okay, and I will finish. So I have this folder here. So what I can do is, wherever my downloads are, I can just select those downloads, and let's see we can drag and drop these in our folder or not. Drag these files in this folder, copy files. Okay, and now I have all these jar files here. Now I will go to this JRE once again, JRE system library, right click, build path, configure build path, add jar in the libraries, add jar, and in company I have this folder resources, and I think multi-select them and click OK. And once I have done that, let me see if they are there or not. So once I have done that, I think they will be added in here, these files, you see. So I will click OK, and now these files are here, referenced libraries. Okay, so you will be able to see them here. Now once you have all these SQLite JDBC file, I will run my program once again, and let's see what happens. And now I can see connection successful, and when I see connection successful message, I know that I have successfully connected to my database. So don't forget to add these SQLite JDBC jar file, and I will provide the link for them, so you can download all the jar files from that link and just add like I have done. And this message you were seeing when I ran the program, connection successful. Here is the connection. If you see this line which I have created, connection successful, that means you are connected to the database. Okay, once again, connection successful. So in this way you can create a SQLite database and connect it to our Java GUI project. Hello guys, welcome once again. In the last video I have shown you how you can create your SQLite database and connect it to your Java GUI application. So I have shown you how to create a database and how to connect this database to your Eclipse web builder GUI application, right? So we have tested our connection like this. So whenever we run the program, it shows connection successful. That means the connection with the database is successful. Okay, and it opens the login page. But in this login frame, we haven't we haven't inserted any tools or components here. So in this video I'm going to show you how you can create a login page which checks the username and password from the database. So it validates username and password from the database, and if that username and password is correct, then it will give you some message if it's correct or not. So let's get started. First of all, I will just make this window a little bit bigger by double clicking this login.java, and we have some space to work with now, right? So what I'm going to do is I will just resize this a little, and I'm going to take this absolute layout and I will just place it on this login panel, and I will take two labels, label 1 and label 2. So once again, label 2. Okay, so I have taken these two labels, and then I will take the text box 1 and text box 2. Okay, so I have two labels and two text boxes, and I will take a button which whenever user clicks, he will be able to log in. So take a button, once again take a button here, and now I will change the names of these labels or variable name, or I will leave these names for the label as it is. You know how to change the name, variable name, but I will change the text of these labels as first is username. It should be username, and the second label text will be, why it goes to the, so first label text will be username, and the second label text will be password, right? And then what I'm going to do is, I remember one thing. Whenever you use or enter any username and password, the password is always hidden. It should be hidden, right? Otherwise the other users can see your password and there is no meaning of password, right? So I will delete this text box because it will show my password to the other user. And what I can use is this password tool. So this, there is a tool called J password field, and this tool we specifically use for password. So just click this and just leave it on your frame, and this we use for entering the password. Okay, so I will resize this here, and this we will use for entering the password. And properties of this password you can see here. Just click this password field and you will be able to see that echo char, and you can change this echo char to any character, and this will be, or your password will be masked with this character. So you can use dollar sign here, or you can use hash or any other character, and it will mask, this character will mask all of your password. So we have done that, and I will change the variable name of these text field. For username, text field UN, for example, and for password, this text field I will name it as password field. So it's, the name already suggests that it's a password field, so I will not change the name of the field. But yeah, this, I will change the text of this button as login, and I will change the name of this button as btn login. Okay, so now we have this, and maybe you can resize it so that you can see username and password, and you can, you know, play with the properties for this. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I will select this login button, right click it, add event handler, action perform, and this will lead me to this login button action perform method, right? And inside this method I'm going to write a code to check the login or username and password, right? So first of all, I will just make a try and catch block, so if any error occurs, it will catch the error. So I will just copy the previous code for try catch and I will paste it in action perform method, and I will remove all the other code other than my try catch blocks. So I have this try catch block, so if any error will occur, it will catch the any exception. Okay, now in this try block, first thing I will do is I will create a query with the database. If you remember in the last video, in this login.java, we have initialized our connection by our SQLite connection.db connector function. So we have this connection with the database in this object, which is called connection, which we have created. Where we have created this connection, let's see. So this is the connection we have created, right? So this is an object of connection, which is a java.sql class connection. And so if you don't recognize this, just watch the last video once again. Okay, so I'm going to use this connection once again. But yeah, now to the button click event or action perform event of this login button. In this try block, first of all, what I need to do is I need to prepare a query which I want to pass to the database. So I will prepare a query which is a string variable, string, I will name it as query itself is equal to, and in the double quotes and the semicolon I will write the query. So what is the query I'm going to pass? Select asterisk, or select asterisk means select all from the database table name. So my table name here is employee info. This I have shown you in the last video, the table name and how to create a database, right? So select star or asterisk from your table name, and then we will write a where clause. So just write where your username. So what is the name of username? Just as username and password, right? So where username, by the way, SQLite is a non-case sensitive language, so whatever query you are passing, it can be in uppercase or lowercase, but Java is a case sensitive language, so you cannot play with these objects and variables. But yeah, whenever you pass the query, whenever you are building the query, you can use uppercase or lowercase depending upon your priority. So select all from your table name, where username is equal to question mark and password is equal to also question mark. Okay, this is my query. Now I need to make a prepared statement from this query. So what I will do, I will write prepared statement, if the spelling is correct. I don't think it's correct. Let me see. Okay, so we will go further, is equal to, then what I need to do here, I need to pass the query to the prepared statement, right? So I will make an object of this prepared statement. I will name it as PST for prepared statement. Okay, and then I will write connection, which is my object which I've created in the last video, which is connection object. This one, connection is equal to null, right? So prepared statement PST is equal to connection dot prepared statement, and it takes my query. So you see here, it takes the query. So I will write query, and this is the query I'm passing here. So I'm passing the query to the prepared statement. Then I will prepare a result set, but before that, with this prepared statement, I want to pass the values from the text boxes which the user will enter to the prepared statement. So I will write pst dot set string. This will be set string, and this will take two arguments. The first argument will be the parameter index. So parameter index is what? Because we are using two question mark, the index, parameter index of username is 0 and parameter index of password is 1, right? So the index starts from 0, and whatever number of question mark here you have, that much index you will have. So the first question mark, we will have the 0 index, and this, and the second argument for this PST set string is the value which you are getting from the text boxes. So go to the design view, unable to, okay. So I will, for now, I will take this name, which is text field UN, and I will get the text. So I will write dot get text. Okay. In the same way, I will just use PST get text for the password. Okay. So PST dot set string, and the index will be now 1. 0 index for username, index 1 for password, right? And the username or password field name is this one. password field dot get text. And as soon as you see here get text, it has the line above get text. That means it will not get text, it will mask your password field by the mask. You see, get text from the password field is deprecated. Okay, so I don't right now. Let's see, I will use it as it is. If it shows me any error, I will use some other method. For now, I will use like this only. Okay, so now I have these values in my query. Now I want a result set, right? So I will write result set. I will name it as rs is equal to, and then this result set will execute my query. Okay, so what I can do, pst, which is my prepared statement, this is the statement I prepared, dot execute query. Whatever query I pass in that statement, I want to execute that query. Okay, so now whenever I execute this query will be executed and the result will be transferred to this rs object. Okay, so in the next line, what I'm going to do, I will make a while loop, because this rs object gives the value one by one. So I will use while, and I will close this while loop here, and I will copy this rs, which is the result dot, and then I will write next. So this will give me the result one by one. And if you see here, this method returns me boolean value. That means until and unless this next is true, or until and unless we are getting the values from the database, this while loop will go on. Otherwise, whenever this method will be false, then it will go out of the loop, right? Okay, so in this while loop, what I'm going to do is, first of all, above this while loop, I will create integer int count is equal to 0. Okay, and this count, I will, in the while loop, I will increase this count. So I will write count is equal to count plus 1. You can use other type to increment this, like for example count plus plus. So it depends upon you, right? For now I'm using count is equal to count plus 1. Okay, and then depending upon the count I get, I want to show the messages. So this count, I will tell you why I have done like that, but I want to show the message on the basis of count first. So if this count is equal to 1, this will be double equal to, right, is equal to 1, then I want to show the message here. I will copy this j option pane dot show message dialog in the if condition, and I will say this one, user name and password is correct. Okay, and else if I get the count greater than 1, then I will say I have duplicate user and password. I will explain you why I'm writing like this. Duplicate user and name and password, and else I want to show username and password is not correct. So I will show the message username and password is not correct. Okay, and I will also show you maybe some message like try again or whatever. So why I have declared this count here is, so once this query is passed and username and password, it checks from on the basis of whatever I enter in these text boxes, text box name for the username and text box name for the password, and it will keep the result in this rs, and whenever whatever result rs, this counter will increase. Okay, so if our result, uh, so whenever we pass the query we get the result, and if we get only one result, that means it has matched the username and password, because we only have one result as a result. That means its username and password is correct. If we get no result, then we say username and password is not correct. But if we get multiple result greater than one, that means there is some mistake. There are duplicate username and password in our database. Okay, so I will explain all these condition, or I will show demonstrate all these condition one by one when I run the program. But the one of the most important thing is, whenever you write a query and execute a query, you need to close the connection after you execute the query. So after this try catch block which you have written, what you need to do is, your query is executed, you get the result, and after getting the result you need to close the connection with the database, because SQLite is only providing one connection at a time. Okay, so there is a constraint with SQLite. You need to make one connection at a time with SQLite database. So after this try catch block, at the end of this catch block, you may write finally, and then in finally you can once again write try and catch, and in here you can close the connection in the catch or in the try, sorry. So in here I will write the exception, which I will show you here once again. This will be exception, and in the try I will close the connection. So I have created this prepared statement here, right? So how I can close the connection? If I have these outside these try block, because it will not recognize if they are inside this try block because of the localization constraint. Okay, so now I can use this prepared statement like this, and if it's not showing, unhandled exception. Okay, so let's see, do it here, and instead of using this you can simply do one more thing which is more easier. At the end of this try block, so just at the end of this try block and above this catch block, what you need to do is you just write rs, which is our result set, rs, which is this one, result set object dot close, and pst, which is our prepared statement, right? pst, this one, dot close. And what these two lines will do is, after executing your query, they will close the connection with the database, so that whenever you want to use this connection once again in the other method, you are ready to use the connection and the connection is not open. So these two lines take care of that. Now I will run the program, and you see I have this database open here. So I will show you what happens when this database is open. I will run the program, and I will say login.java. Okay. First of all, I will get the message connection successful. That means I am successfully connected to the database. Then I have these username and password field, and let's see what's there in the username and password. So I have username is equal to 1 for the first employee, username is equal to 1, password is equal to 1, right? So I enter this username is equal to 1, password is equal to 1, and you see here this my password is masked with this dot symbol because I have used password field for that. And I will click this login once again, or I will click this login button, and what happens? Java long array out of bound exception. So I want to see what is this. So I will pause the video and I will see what the error is, and then I will come back. So I found the error which I am facing. So in this try catch block, if you remember, I have written this query, SQLite query, then I have prepared the prepared statement, which is PST. Then I was passing this set string here, pst.setString, and I was writing the index here, right? So index of the text field username was 1 or 0, and index for the password for was 1, right? 0 and 1. So I checked it, and this index starts from a 1, not 0. So this should be 1 and 2. Okay. So this index should be 1 and 2, not 0 and 1. So username for index username starts from 1 and password will be 2. Okay. Now when we run the program once again, run the program, connection successful. Let's see what username we have. Username 1, password 1. Okay. I'll write username 1, password 1, password is masked, login, username and password is correct because it matches the username and password from here. Now suppose we enter some random username which is not there in the database. Okay, I will just click this, and now you see the message username and password is not correct, try again. Okay, I will try again. So if you see here, for employee ID 2 and employee ID 3, I have duplicate username and password. This I have done intentionally to check whether it gives me the result duplicate username and password. So I have for employee ID 2, username and password 2 and 2, and same for employee ID 3, 2 and 2, username and password. So I will write username 2, password 2, and let's see what happens. I get duplicate username and password. That means the username and password for employee ID 2 and 3 is duplicate, so they has to be changed. So we have successfully created a login page using our window builder GUI application in Java. Hello guys, welcome once again. In this video I'm going to show you how you can add images and icons to your component and to the frame. For example, you want to add some icon to this login button, or for example you want to add some image to this login frame. How you can do it, I will show you in this video. So for example, you want to show some image in here for the login page. So what you can do is you can use this JLabel to have your image inside your JLabel, and I will remove the text inside this JLabel, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to resize this JLabel like this according to the size of the image. For example, I have okay. Now what I'm going to do is in this label I want to set some image. So I want to have some image first, right? So what I generally do is I will go to internet browser and I search for the images which are free to use, images and icon which are free to use, and there are lots of websites which provide images which are free to use or open source. And for example, I will give you an example. I know a site called Icon Archive. This has you see so many number of images and icons, and you can have them for free, right? So for example, I want to have some image for login. I'll make this a little bit bigger. So I will write here login, and you will see some images in here. So for example, I want to have this image in my login frame. I can just choose this PNG. You can even have the size of the image you want to have, right? For example, you want to have 48 by 48. This size will be changed to 48 by 48, okay? Or you can say all, and this size you will get the regular size here. So I want this regular size. I will click the PNG, right click it, and I will say save image as, and I will save this image wherever for in whatever folder I want. For example, I want to save it, this image here. I will save it here in my pictures folder. And for example, I want to have the icon for this login button. Okay, the image I have downloaded right now is for this login frame, and I want an icon here on the login button for this login button. So what I can do, I can search for example, OK icon, and you see here OK icon, and I want to resize it, for example 24 cross 24 pixel, and once again I can click this PNG and I can see this, and I will save this image as this image on my pictures folder for it for now. Okay, now the next thing I will do is I will change the name because they are quite long. So for example, I will change the name of this picture as only login, and I will change this picture as only OK icon. Okay, now what I need to do is for showing this picture on this label, what I need to do is I will just double click this login.java so I can see my package explorer here. And in my project, what I need to do is just right click your project, in whatever project you are in, and new, and just add a source folder. Okay, so go to project, new, and just add a source folder, and you need to give the name to the source folder. I name my source folder as img for images. Okay, img, finish, and now I have the source folder. And now what I can do is I can go to the pictures which I have downloaded, just select all these pictures, drag these picture to this image folder. Okay, drag these picture to the image folder, and you will see this message, click OK, and now you have these pictures inside your source folder. Okay, if you don't see these images inside your source folder, right click and refresh. So now you have these pictures inside your image source folder. What you need to do is next, for example, I go to my project, wherever I have created my project. Generally it's in workspace, and the name of the project, my project name is company, and in here I will go to the bin folder, or you see here we have created this image folder, and in this image we have these two images. I will go to the binary folder, and you see here they are copied to the binary folder also, right? So they are automatically copied to the binary folder. I haven't copied them, but when I click refreshed, they are automatically copied to my binary folder. Or otherwise, what you can do is you can right click and you can run your project, or you can just run your project once again from here, and these images will be copied in your binary folder here. Okay, so once you have these images in your binary folder, it's easy to use them in your JLabel. So what you need to do here is now just go to, I will just double click and make it bigger, and go to source here and search for this label wherever you have created this label. This label is this one, which has no text here, right? So in here, what I need to do is I need to give the path of the image and set the icon to this label. This is the label I want to set this icon, right? So just below the declaration of this label, you can just set this icon to the label like this. Okay, so just write image img is equal to new image, and what is this? Yeah, so just write this these two lines we need to use, and in these two lines what we are doing, we are just declaring this image. This image is a part of this java.awt.image, this one. Okay, so if this image is showing you any error, just import java.awt.star, so it will add all the AWT libraries in your system. Okay, so go to your image and just write image img is equal to new image icon, and inside this bracket as a parameter you need to pass this indicate to this class, which is login.java.class.getResources, and inside this bracket we will pass the arguments / and the name of the icon. So the name of the icon or name of the image which I want to show in this label is, name of the icon is login.png. Okay, so I will change this name as login.png, right? And then get image. Okay, so this line will be like this, and now once you have this image from the source code, you just need to pass this image in your label. So just call the name of the label. In my case, this is the label name, which is label itself dot set icon, and inside the bracket just write new image icon and pass this image object here. So you need to write these two lines in order to set your image, and when you go to the design view here, you will be able to see your image. But there is a one catch, you cannot resize your image like this, right? So choose the image which can fit your label. The resizing of image can be done, but it's a long code, and in the beginning video I don't want to show this code to you. So it's easier to have the images which have the same size as your label. So now you have fixed this image in your label. Now you want to have the icon on this login button, right? So what you can do is you can do the same thing. Just go to your code and copy these two lines which I have just explained you, and wherever your login button declaration is, which is, let's see, where is our login button? Here. So we have this login button declaration. Just below this you can set this image, and this image was called OK image, right? So I will just write under the button ok.png, and I will go to the design view, and it's not showing. Let's see why. So why it's showing an error? Because I haven't changed this label name as button login. So name of the button, just take the name of the button, and in here just paste the name of the button, right? So this code will be like this, and don't forget to change the name of the button, which is this one. And I go to design view once again, I will be able to see this image here. Okay, so in this way you can add images and icons to your components. Hello guys, welcome once again. In this video I'm going to show you how you can open a second JFrame using a first JFrame in your Eclipse GUI application. So for example, I want to open a second JFrame, for example employee info JFrame, whenever user has passed the login test. For example, username and password is correct, then I want to open a second JFrame. Okay, so how can I do it? I will show you in this video. But first of all, I need a second JFrame, right? So I need to create the second JFrame. So I will go to my project, or I will go to my source folder of my project. Company is my project name, and this is SRC is the source folder of my project. Right click, new, and go to others, and in here search for window builder and search for swing designer. But this time we will not select application window, we will select this time a JFrame. Application window will create a main method inside your JFrame, and the main method could be only one, right? And this JFrame is just a frame, other frame. So you need to choose in this swing designer JFrame, right? So select this JFrame, click next, and give the name to your class. I give the name to my class as employee is it correct? Or let's say, what can be, sometimes I get confused in the spelling. So once again, employee info. Okay, so my class name is employee info because I am dealing with the employee database, right? So I want to show the employee data in the second form. Okay, so I will name my class name accordingly, and I will click finish, and this will create a second form for me, which is a blank form, which is called employee info.java. You can see here, I go to my design view of this class, which is employee info.java. I will double click on this employee info.java so I can see this. And for now I will just show some message. I will take a label, but before that I need to have this absolute layout inside this, and then I will put the label, and I will just say second form for now. Okay, and maybe I can just resize it so we will be able to see the message, and maybe I will change the font size so that it's visible. Okay, so I want to open this frame from my login frame, right? So if you remember, we have written a code to log in username and password, validate username and password, and whenever we click this login button, we will be able to see the message if the username and password is correct or not. So just click this login button once again, and this was the code which I have written. So if you don't remember this code, just see my last videos in which I have shown you how to create a login page. And in here, where my validation is correct, where I'm showing username and password is correct, I want to open the new frame, which is employee info frame, right? And I want to close this frame. Okay, so first of all, I will close this frame. How can I close this frame? Just take the name of your frame. So the frame name is frame only. You see here, private jframe frame. So take the name of your frame, go to the condition where your username and password is correct. Username and password is correct, I was showing there. And in here, frame dot dispose. Okay, this will dispose your frame or hide your frame. Okay, and then I will call the new class. So I will create an object of the new class. My class name is employee info class, right? So you see here, I've created this new class, employee info class, right? So I will write employee info. I will say the object name is emplinfo, for example, is equal to new employee info. So I'm creating an object of this class, and now I can use this object to call the set visible method, which is responsible to make your frame visible. So I use this object, which is emplinfo dot set visible. And what it takes, this method takes a boolean value. So I want to make this true to show this frame, right? So whenever I use this true, then this second class will be visible for me, or second frame will be visible for me. So you just need to write these two lines, right? 2 or 3 lines. And once again, I will run the program, click OK. It will open error exists in required project. Let's see what is the error. I can't see any error here. Let's see if it shows any error. Duplicate local img. Okay, so this I think I have in the last video I have shown you how to show the image, and I think I have created somewhere here some image, which is this. I can call it image1. Okay, now this error will not come. I'll run it once again. Okay, and connection is successful. Okay, and username, I need to give a username and password. I will give the username and password, and when I click this login button, I will see first of all this message, username and password is correct. And when I click OK, you see I can see the second form and first form is disposed. That means it is gone and second form is open. The same thing you can do for calling the login form from the employee form. Okay, so for example, you want to go from this form to the previous form, which is the login form. You can do the same with this.